Hello and welcome back to episode 2 of RS3. In order. I don't have a fancy title intro sequence yet, so this is the best you're gonna get for now. It'll get better. Next up is the last of the original quests, Demon Slayer. It was remade in 2014 to be less mediocre and actually an interesting, fun quest. So this is also one of the first quests that they did that scales with your level. So they did this a few times where you have challenges that increase in difficulty depending on how good you are at combat, so that basically every player can attempt it. Typically novice quests get this treatment. But talking to Gideon Blade, yada yada yada, saying, hey, we'll help slay this demon. And he says, go down in this basement where 3 men are guarding a sword. And then complete whatever they tell you to do, which is not sketchy at all in any way, shape, or form. So yeah. We have test of the body, test of the faith, and test of the mind. So, body, first off, involves beating the shit out of a lot of skeletons that are not very dangerous, but I don't have a good weapon at the moment, so whatever. Easy peasy. Next up is Trial of Faith, where we basically get to do the bullshit of Underground Pass, except with guidance. If we just follow the path. It is not a very difficult trial. But whatever. Easy peasy. And then Spirit of the Mind, we have to answer a bunch of questions of like, what is Silverlight? And what is the demon we're trying to battle? And things like that. But by doing these 3 very simple tasks, we have obtained Silverlight, which is now my best in slot weapon. Which is a little sad. But it's a solid task. So, skipping forward through walking through the city, we go find this little den of cultists, which is conveniently located near the other temple in the city, and we beat the shit out of them and take their meat, which may or may not be person. Not gonna question it. Having beat up all of the cultists, it's time to beat up a demon. Another really neat thing that we get in the a lot of the newer quests is that there's little cutscenes introducing characters, fights, things like that. I mentioned this last episode, which is something that I generally find fun and interesting. It brings a lot of life to the game. But, well, hopefully we brought Silverlight. I think we have it. So, yeah, who knows? Yes, it is time to battle. I will battle as soon as I'm allowed to. Let me fight you. So, yeah. So, one of the things that got changed in this fight in Old School is difficult because it's surrounded by dark wizards who will basically murder a low-level character. Here, there's mechanics of you have to stand under the thing when he's going to blow his load, and then you beat the shit out of him, and then he dies. Still not difficult, but it's okay. We get some XP and Silverlight, and a wand and book that is granted pretty good for its level, and allows us to do some mage training. Quest number 6 is a lovely little quest called Ernest the Chicken, where we go and inquire and try and find out if our buddy Ernest is actually a chicken or is just trying to run away from being married. So this fellow, Professor Odenstein at the top of Draenor Manor, is, well, confirming that it is the former and possibly still the latter. But we are tasked with finding the stuff of his machine that got broken and scattered all over the grounds and manor to try and, unchicken Ernest. The slightly concerning thing about this quest is Ernest is stated to lay eggs, which would imply that he got turned into a girl. So, grab some fish food, grab some poison, dig up some shit for a key, mix the poison and food together, kill off some fish, search the fountain, grab a pressure gauge. Then we go into the sketchy room with the sketchy skeleton, take a hose, get beat up a little bit, and then continue down into this nightmare of a room for everyone under the age of 14, where you have to flip all the levers around and figure out how to get the doors to open the right way. So, it's... I'd like to say that I have this memorized at this point, but I don't. It's just really simple to do by process of elimination. You pretty much have to hit every lever at least once in the process of getting the last door open. So you generally just flip levers until you start seeing progression the way you want it to have. There's not much else to it. Like you see here, I went backwards, so I have to hit C again. And then I just bounce through and start flipping more levers until I get what I want. As far as puzzles go, this is not particularly difficult to brute force. You just have to pay attention to the doors. So yeah. I flip these, flip that one. Now I can go over this way. Flip. No. That's C time now. Flip C. Now I go back the way I came, back into this corner room. Oh. And like sort of as you see here, I'm missing up quite a bit, and it's just, you don't get stuck. You can just undo your last move easily, so you just keep progressing forward, and then you get the oil can. We can go back and fix this machine with a pressure gauge, a tube, and some oil. But on the upside, we unchicken Ernest. And he nicely rewards us with feathers and concerning eggs and some money. So yeah, nice simple novice quest. Introduces the drainer area. Quest 7 is Vampire Slayer. It came out a week after Ernest the Chicken and Drainer was added in the game. And it is a very simple quest, as it is exactly what it says on the tin. You have to go and kill a vampire with a Y. Because we're British. I know Jimmy made this joke too. So we go upstairs, pass by Morgan's wife named Maris, get some garlic. We'll be using this garlic a few times in a handful of different quests. And we go all the way to Varric and begin the lovely tradition of RuneScape, which is get people to do things for us by giving them booze. So he hands us some more vampire slaying gear. We go and gear up in an epic montage that may or may not have been filmed. And we go and start murdering. I like to point out that in the lore, this guy is kind of isolated. He's part of the vampires that are in Mauritania when we get to that point, but he's isolated from the everything else by the River Salve doing what it's supposed to be doing. So he's overall much weaker than the rest of them, just effectively due to malnutrition more than anything else, which is why we can sort of beat on him pretty effectively with rather poor gear and rather poor food, and promptly make him sit. So, having engaged in vampire murder, we go and brag about our accomplishments, and Morgan is understandably very happy about this. And that's the quest. Nice, rather short quest. But as a result of this, we get the Draenor Lodestone, which is a big unlock for the account. Quest number 8 is Impecher. It was redone with voice acting in 2017 to, while still paying homage to the original fetch quest, have its own twist on it. And this twist is vomit. So we go to each of the 4 elemental altars, find an imp there, do some menial task for them, and they puke on us. This guy, we gave a bowl of hot water to clear out his nose, and he puked on us. This guy is rather abrasive, so we beat his face in which, as a consequence of that, he, well, unsurprisingly, will puke on us. A good time. The third guy, we have to race him around the altar so that he runs out of energy, in which we beat him rather quite handily because imps apparently are really bad at cardio, as they don't know how to pace themselves, and they just kind of poop out after like 8 laps. But we managed to accomplish our goal, and that goal is vomit and a bead. So he's much more chill after getting the bead out of him. And then the last altar, this guy is just really sad, so we have to give him some counseling, and as a reward for the counseling, he pukes on us. But he's much better afterwards. So we get the beads, and we dry clean our robes, go back to Wizard Vizgog, and he verifies they're correct, much like the end of the original quest in 2001. Where he just goes and puts them on his little thing, and everything is wonderful. Another very short quest to film for, because it's a lot of running around. Up next is Stolen Hearts. It's part 1 of the 2-parter that replaces Prince Ali Rescue in 2012. This quest is rather good voice acting, so there will be bits of it that I'm going to be quiet and not talk over and mute the game so that can be shown off. So we start with Ozan, talk to him a bit, and he sends us to go investigate this gang of suspicious thugs to try and find his old palace guard friend Noom. So we intimidate the guy. He lets us in. And we look around, see, hey look, here's the guy we're supposed to find. Apparently he's running this bar.
Stranger. Welcome to the scullery.
So we go and...
I take it you're here to join the skulls, not for the atmosphere. That is to say...
So yeah, we're going to try and join this gang by basically answering a bunch of questions for him, and... guess what?
You're a thinker.
We answered the questions correctly. Not that there's wrong answers.
Of the skull's resources, we could be rolling in it. Well done. Welcome to the skulls, recruit.
Yay!
I can't believe he's the gang leader. And none too fond of me anymore by the sound of it.
So yeah, we're basically tailing this guy to find their actual hideout, which snazzily reuses existing architecture in the game, i.e. this jail. And we're gonna talk to him. We're just gonna talk.
Well done, recruit. You found the HQ.
We're just gonna talk.
Awesome.
You can talk to her.
Yeah, we're gonna beat him up. And we beat him up. He tells us where the drop-off's happening. We go, engage in this, have a lovely little discussion.
Everybody stop. Hand over the prince now, and I might only kill you a bit.
I'd also like to kind of point out that Ozen's voice actor sounds a whole lot like the guy who did Pip Bernadotte in Hellsing Ultimate, which I cannot find any confirmation or denial of this. So that is now my headcanon. But yeah, so she zombifies some mercenaries. We kill them. And then we go and report this to the Spy Master. They don't let us in, so we have to do some parkour. And some more parkour. And even more parkour. And we eventually get in.
I can actually breathe over here. I find the incense gets up my nose.
And we find out useful information. Like, for instance, this guy is obviously evil.
This situation is untenable, and you know it.
So, the takeaway from this is we basically decide to go steal a diamond by doing this little weight puzzle, in which we go figure out which weight's the heaviest, and then put that on a platform and go to take a diamond, and it all goes pear-shaped. We find out in the next quest why it instantly goes pear-shaped, but it goes pear-shaped.
There's no reason for alarm in here. Whoever's in there is trapped.
Quick, we have to get to the... They cut the rope.
Please don't leave on my account.
Wow.
Well, Osman, who's in my vault? If, as you say, you wish to save my son, then I beg you to do so. But you are not taking my heart.
See the amount of effort that's been put into these quests now? Newer quests. Like, they're still very simple, but like, the amount of like narrative delivery is much more impressive.
And as for your part in this,
But yeah,
the city of Al-Kharid rewards you.
this quest is basically a buttload of lore and not a lot of gameplay. Next is What's Mine is Yours,
It's over.
which is another replacement quest. This one replaced Dork's quest with a quest that you can't do in 30 seconds,
You'll help me.
which we basically have to go and get ore for this guy to save his business,
To gather them.
because he's losing all of his customers and he's concerned about his son. So we basically just have to go and mine up the ore and beat up these little rock dudes and do this some more. And in the process of doing this, we find out this dwarf and this mage guy are causing the little rock dudes to appear. So we basically go and gather up the rest of the ore, relay the... Oh, there we go. And yeah,
If you can smith a bronze sword and a bronze dagger, we can use those as samples to
Yeah.
get a new order.
we get to do all the work because, of course, this is RuneScape. We do all of the work. And NPCs don't do work in this game. They make us do it. And then they give us pennies. pennies, I say. So yeah, we made our bronze weaponry, and we're going to go get it finished so it's nice and fancy and shiny. And we go to the Dwarven Workshop for this.
Welcome, welcome, my dear lass. I'm Axel, proud artisan and long-suffering inventor. Glad to make your acquaintance. And look how beautifully made they are. Almost as good as if we made them here ourselves. So, what did Doric want us to do with them? I would be more than happy to help Doric out. The art of finishing requires a delicate hand and more dedication.
I feel like this guy is either insulting us or insulting Doric. But yes, he finishes this, and it is...
With Doric's talents and our finish, these blades
I mean, they're still bronze. The lowest level metal in the game.
The
but-
quality of these blades is excellent.
Thank you, sir. Doric
But
will
the
be
plot
pleased to
thickens.
Yes, Doric is a superb smith, I must say.
So we have a deal. You agreed to do your business with us.
Of course, I'd be happy to use these weapons in the midst of battle.
Stop right there, criminal scum. But yeah, we basically stumble upon this plot. It turns out that this mysterious dwarf is... Boric.
Doric, my son, you've returned.
So we drag him by the ear back to his dad, and we get to resolve a family
I've been a
family
fool.
trauma. So
Please.
along our
Forgive
long
me.
list of accomplishments, we can safely say that we're Jerry Springer.
Come here, you daft, soppy lad.
Yeah. After some more menial tasks, we reopen the shop with Doric and Boric, and everybody is happy. And every single time I see that guy's face, it's absurd. It's like, "Durr." His faces are the best. But yes, what's mine is yours. Opens up a lot of mini quests we'll get later on. But yeah, that's it. Quest number 11 is the Knight's Sword, which is back to the classic quests of from 2001, where we have to go and instead of finding a lost sword, we go and just make a new one. And we realize that family heirlooms are not remotely unique in any way, shape, or form. So first off, we have to find the existence of Encando dwarves. So Raudo, tell us where dwarves are. In which we go down and find Thurgo, who is best boy. In which we kind of grill him a little bit about it, but we bribe him with pie, so it's okay. Yes, he is very pleased about red berry pie. So, Thurgo basically says, well, he can't make a sword that he doesn't know what it looks like, so we have to go and steal the photo from Ceramic Vase. In which we do so, bring it back to Thurgo. Thurgo goes and tells us to go down into this super scary dungeon and get some bluerite ore as well as some iron bars, which we thankfully already provided. So we got muggers with no one to mug. We got pirates doing pirate shit. We got some hobgoblins doing, I guess, goblin those hobs. I don't know what hobgoblins do. And then we have ice warriors and a giant. Oh, and some giants. And this is the scary part because I don't have combat levels at the moment. So I'm just gonna hope I don't die. Run away. And Operation Sneaky. And we wait. This suffer. No. No. Bad. Ow. Bad. Nope. 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 Run away. Run away. Run away. Okay, we escaped. And make the sword. So yeah, we now have the sword, and we can bring it back to the squire now and finish the quest, but I feel like a detour. Detours are great. We're gonna go do Witch's Potion. Because this is not a quest, this is a mini quest now, so I can do it whenever I damn well please, and I feel like doing it now. So, she has us get a bunch of stuff, most of which I've already obtained. But the rat tail you have to get after starting the mini quest, in which we give all of the stuff back to her, and then we slurp from the potion and get some magic XP. So yeah, detour over. Yeah, and then we finish the Knight's Sword, and it's nice and short. Next up is Goblin Diplomacy, which is an exercise in frustration, as this quest is mostly prep. Luckily, they put the armor in these crates, so you don't have to grind for it by killing goblins all day. But we have to talk to these two dipshits, Bent Nose and Wartface, and then we have to solve their problem for them, because of course we do, because they can't agree on what color of armor to use. So we suggest a different color. Poor Grubfoot here is just dragged into the middle of this, and he ends up having the model for this, so he grabs the orange armor, puts it on. The two generals don't like it, so we have to choose a different color, in which that cases. So we try this color now. Is this color better? Who knows? We'll find out in a moment once Grubfoot is done changing. No peeking. And they hate it. So, next color. I'd like to point out that brown is the color that they were wearing originally, except for Dipshit 1 and Dipshit 2 and their most loyal followers. And thus, this entire problem is completely avoided because they can't make up their own goddamn minds, and they need an outside person to point out that they're stupid. But we solved their problem, and they gave us some crafting XP and a gold bar. Welcome to Port Sarim, a fantastic place with probably one of the most iconic songs in the game. It is a lovely place. Enjoy the boats, enjoy the weird portal that we don't actually have yet, and enjoy the fact that the ships technically can't actually leave the port because the Wizard Tower Island is in the way. But let's not worry about that. Let's not question how, for instance, the ship to Karamcha can't actually leave because there's two other ships in the way. Let's not question how it is almost the same size as Musa Point. Let's not question any of those things because RuneScape has weird scaling. Let's do a crime. This crime is smuggling rum. In exchange, we get some treasure. So, how do we do this crime? Obtain 1 rum. Do not drink the rum, this is not for you. 2. Obtain a job. And pick some bananas. Step 3. Hide the rum. Step 4. Fill the box with bananas. Step 4.5. Get paid. Because we're poor. Step 5. Consent to being touched in weird places. Step 6. Quit your packing job and get a grocer job. Step 7. Retrieve rum and a banana for the road. Good job. You have committed 1 crime. And in exchange, we get a key. This key goes to a chest in Varrock. So, we have to go all the way there. Open the chest. The chest gives us a note. The note tells us where the treasure actually is. So, let's go and, well, let's commit another crime first. But waste not, want not. And treasure. We are now a criminal. But we have more money, which is the important part. The last quest we are doing this episode, and before we do Dragon Slayer, is Swept Away. This is pretty simple. We basically go to all of the witches in the Draenor, Remington, Port Sarum area and get them to enchant this broom by doing some slight puzzles for them. So, this particular case, we have to go down into Hetty's basement and reorganize her collection of weird magical animals by correctly labeling them. We do so, in which we are permitted to take a single newt, who shall be promptly squished into goo, and then rubbed all over the broom. And now it's slightly more magical. Betty wants us to go get her wand, which is in her basement, and is in a chest that is locked by bullshit. So we gotta move a bird. After moving the bird, we move the rat. We move the rat. Then we move the spider. Then we move the reptile. And then we move the rat. And then we finally move the bird. And after doing so, we can get the wand. And then give that. And then she will enchant our broom for us. Now, Aggie pretty much just wants us to clean up a bit of a mess. So, sweep here, and sweep here, and sweep here, and sweep here. And we're done. Now our broom is very magical, and we can go back and stir some soup. So yeah, that's the quest. It's very short. The puzzles aren't particularly difficult. There's later things that use that kind of puzzling that's a little bit more complicated. But for this one, it's very simple. So we get 10 pulls from the soup, which is 10 genie lamps of XP. And we get to keep the broom. So that's it for this episode. We're not going to pull from the soup right now, and that is because I have a skill in mind for using that XP on. I'll give you a hint which skill it is. It's this one, because Herblore without farming is a pain in the ass to level. It's so annoying. So I'm going to use those 10 pulls from the soup to get a quick start forward. So yeah, that's it. Next episode is going to be, well, it's going to be Dragon Slayer. I have a lot of grinding ahead of me. I need to get my combat stats up. I need to get better food. I need to get better gear. I need to get more prayer. I got things to do. So, I'll see you all next time. Maybe. Or I won't. Bye-bye.